Hello and welcome to week 4 of predictions and prognostications. I am your co-host, Nikki Stills, without Bobby Bubbles today. I'm going to be doing 3 games. He's going to be doing 3. And my first is 316 versus Broccoli. And I don't have the stats, only he does. So I'm just going to go straight into my prediction. So we have Burrow versus Daniels as the quarterbacks. 316 has Burrow. And I love Burrow today. I think it's finally time for him to step up, especially against that Panthers team who, although they won last week against the Raiders, they're still not a great team. And they're a fantasy owner's dream if you're going against them. And Jayden Daniels on the right side, great week last week, obviously. But I don't know if he's going to do it again. He's going to keep his legs going again. Obviously, that's what the offensive scheme is there. But Arizona has a pretty good defense, actually. And I don't see him having 32 points again, but I do see him having a solid day. It's going to be close when it comes to the quarterback matchup, but I'll go with Burrow slightly, even though they haven't really shown much this year. Dowdle, that's nice to get 12 points out of him, especially as a backup. I mean, it's debatable. And Breece Hall against the Broncos. I love Breece Hall today. I think the Jets utilize him even more than they have, and they've been using him a little too much, I feel like. On the right side, though, Bijan, it's time for him. I'm being a little generous to the running back so far, but that's going to be a great game, Atlanta, New Orleans. I think it's going to be a very offensive game, and Tyler Algier doesn't sniff the ball as much as he'd like to, which is good for Bijan, who I think has multiple touchdowns today. Josh Jacobs, I don't know. He's been quiet. Even though he had 1 week. I forget if it was last week or week 2. He had over 100 yards, but it was a very quiet game still somehow. I don't like him this week. Jordan Love is back, I believe, and I think they're gonna use the passing game more now that Love is back. Even though I could be wrong, and they're being cautious with Love and are gonna run the ball a lot, that could also be the case. But I don't see Jacobs having a great game, especially with the undefeated Vikings, who will go to 4-0 after beating the Packers today. So running back wise, I'll go with it'll be close, but give me 316. Breece Hall and Bijan have great days, but Jacobs doesn't outperform Dowdle. So barely 316 there. Deontay Johnson and Drake London. Drake London, I think, has a good week because of that high scoring game that today will be with the Falcons and the Saints. Deontay Johnson, I really don't know because last week he was insane, but maybe it's Andy Dalton. Maybe Andy Dalton's the reason that they're performing so well. And you could also say it's his revenge game against the Bengals, even though they treated him very well, but however you want to say that. So I think Deontay Johnson goes for 10 points today. So if you want to call that good, call it good. On the right side, Malik Neighbors, 15 points. He had a great game, carried that team, and I feel like 15 points doesn't show that enough, sadly. But that's a great player to have on your squad. Not for next week, but maybe the weeks after that. Rashee Rice, I think it's time for him to come back. Week 1, he ended up looking like he's going to be the next Jerry Rice. But he's Rashee Rice, came back to earth, and I think he can still have a great game today, 4 o'clock, against the Chargers, who they always beat. Any AFC West team, the Chiefs' offense is going to go insane against. So I do like Rashee Rice. I like the right side, Broccoli's wide receivers more today, even though I do like Drake London. I'm still going with the right side by a little bit there. Kincaid versus Conklin. I'm the type of guy to predict like the players that aren't the best in the league. I never predict them to have crazy games, but then there's always 1 or 2 that end up having multiple touchdowns, but I just can't predict it. That could easily be Tyler Conklin. I don't think he's going to have a great game today, but again, he could end up going off and proving me wrong. I just can't predict that stuff. Dalton Kincaid, though, night game. I'm telling you, Kincaid always likes to perform when it's a night game. He likes the lights. I do think Kincaid has a great game. 15 points tonight against the Ravens, which will be an amazing game. At the flexes, Smith and Jigba against Detroit, and then Higgins against Carolina. The thing about Smith and Jigba, that game is going to be great too. Those ends up being a high-scoring game. Seahawks-Lions tomorrow night. I think it's either going to be a Smith and Jigba or Lockett day.